Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would, with some of my footage in the background running on chest pressing, I thought I would discuss with you guys the topic of adding a second press exercise to your benching to develop your chest. And what's a few things that I always tell people? Couple things. Number one, I think the bench press is a phenomenal chest exercise. I've done multiple videos explaining why that's the case, explained how to bench press to build a bigger chest, why some people don't get chest development from the bench because of their technique and what they're doing, right? So stuff I've broken down, and the evidence is very, very clear. The scientific evidence is very clear that the bench press is a great chest exercise, okay? It simply is. It simply is. It's very difficult to argue against that fact. However, what's another point that I frequently make? The best exercise for any muscle is to do what? To do two different really good exercises for it. Instead of saying, hey, what is the best chest? What is the best hamstring? Whatever muscle you're talking about. What is the best exercise? Well, there probably isn't a best. Because even if you did find the best, the best exercise, quite frankly, some of the best ones tend to be prone to overuse if you're not careful. So what are you going to do? Just that one exercise until you get tendon inflammation and then an injury? I mean, isn't that where we get injuries? Does bad form really cause injuries? No, it's not really what the research says is the biggest cause. It's overuse. That's how we get hurt, overuse. Well, all right, so you have that. Then what else do we have in the research? Studies that have looked at it when you do two exercises versus the exact same amount of volume and perceived exertion, right? Whatever, sets to failure, sets of 1 rep in reserve, whatever they're using as a perceived exertion. That if you do the same volume spread over two exercises, you usually get slightly more muscle growth. Okay? Well, so much for that idea of a best exercise, because if one of those exercises was clearly better, then combining two and taking some of the sets out of one of them shouldn't cause more growth. It would cause less, right? I mean, you would think. So what does this tell us? There may not be a best exercise, and there probably isn't any one exercise that fully works all areas of a muscle, top to bottom, side to side, right? To absolute development. Okay, and I think we can all agree with that. There might be an exercise that works 90% of those fibers really, really effectively, but it's leaving a little bit on the table, no matter what. So, adding a second good exercise. Well, here's some examples. All right, you take people who always complain, oh, the bench press isn't that great or whatever. But what are some exercises? Even those people will say, yeah, those are good exercises. How about a dumbbell press? How about an incline bench? Have you guys noticed that almost every person who feels like even the bench press isn't a good chest exercise always likes those exercises? Okay, why? Because they are good chest exercises. All right, if they're performed correctly. All right, dumbbells. All right, what's the key? Get a deep stretch at the bottom. If you short stroke them, they're really less effective than the bench press, guaranteed. Like flat out. If you half rep them, you don't go deeper than the bench press. Like you stop them short of where the bar would touch your chest. Oh yeah, they're absolutely inferior. They are. But what can you do them? You can get a deeper stretch on those. Oh yeah, they can get a deeper stretch. So if you were to bench press, flat bench, and then do dumbbells as a second exercise, then where are we? Oh man, well that's a real good combination. That'll work really, really well. Right? Anyone ever tried that? It's very effective. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. Do your heavy sets of bench pressing, and then come in and do some deep range of motion. Get a deep stretch at the bottom. Don't half rep those dumbbells. Don't ego lift them. Do some higher rep sets to real fatigue, getting a deep stretch at the bottom after you do your heavier benching. All right, your chest will grow from that. I mean, again, I think everyone who's ever used that method says, yes, my chest got bigger doing that. Every single one of them. Everybody I know. Right? It works. Why? Because we've added a second exercise. And on top of that, we've taken a big exercise and we can move a lot of weight. We've gone to an exercise where we can get a little deeper stretch, a little bit more finesse, and we have really finished that chest off. We've worked some muscle fibers that the flat bench didn't maybe fully fatigue. Okay? Super effective. And then, hey, it hits triceps and other stuff too. All right, great. How about we do incline? Do the same thing. You know, what's one of the perks of that incline? We can still move some big weights. Let's have on the incline. A lot of us, well, not me always. I kind of suck at the incline. Which is why I'm doing it here. And this one, I got to get my incline strength back up. All right. I used to be able to do, you know, for a while, 5-6 reps with 255. You guys see me over in this video doing 185 for 6. Yeah, I've got to build that back up. That's kind of sad. But that's after doing a bunch of benching. You know, I need to get that up to at least 225 for work sets. But I digress back over to the point. All that extra upper chest. Now, anyone who tells you that the bench press doesn't work the upper chest doesn't know biomechanics. It does. Incline. What's the deal with the incline? Well, we're forced to use a little less weight. It's a little easier on recovery. It doesn't beat us up quite the same. It gets a real deep stretch, right? Really, particularly the upper half of the chest. Again, really want to kind of balance things out. You want to thicken that chest up. Front delt is actually a great front delt exercise too. Okay? Add incline bench to it. So do your bench pressing and then do some incline work. Incline work is one of those things we can do lower reps. We can get away with both on it, right? Dumbbells, you really shouldn't be doing the low reps. Anyone who tells you you should, those are people who tear pecs. Because of that deep stretch you can get and the instability, it's not an ego exercise. One of the perks with the incline is that, you know, we can get real strong on the incline, right? In some cases, we can get pretty close to our flat bench. I mean, have we all seen that? I've had friends who, you know, bench up well into the 400s, and you see them on the incline, and they're doing some rep work with 315, like real good reps, not bouncing. Like they're coming down and really doing real reps. I had a friend of mine I watched do that before. He was like a mid 400s bencher. I watched him walk over to that 45-degree incline and crank out like 6-7 reps of 315. Like, okay, well, you know, we can move some big weights. Works the chest from a different angle. All right? Gives us great chest development. And these are perfect examples of what I mean of taking the bench press then and saying, okay, well, I'm going to add another press behind it after I've done my benching. Let's work the chest and the front delts and everything from a different angle. Let's get some additional development. Falls right back into everything I've been telling you guys, right? This is how we implement. This is an example of implementing stuff that I've explained to you guys, giving you guys perfect examples. Okay, this is examples of how to do it, and it works. And I think most people who've done this will agree, properly perform bench pressing, do it correctly, then follow it up with some incline work, correctly done incline. You'll build a big chest. Right? You'll build a big chest. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.